Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the crash course, the social media crash course. It's going to be great. We're going to get all caught up on social media in 1 hour. So I'm just letting everybody in. So welcome, welcome. If you're coming in, please tell me where you're coming in from. Let me know in the chat where you are in the country. If you've got a drink with you, I've got my cup of courage and I've got my coffee going on here. So let me know where you are in the country. And if you have a drink and what you're drinking, I'd love to know. Hi, Andre. Great to see you. Hi, Lena. We got the girls club coming in here. We got Sarah. Wonderful to see everybody. So let me just let everybody in. We got lots of people coming in, which is great, great, great. Awesome. Oh, and look at the stars. I love it. The girls club's got stars in their background too. It's perfect. Awesome. Okay, let's see. We got Manchester, Brighton, West London with a coffee. I love it. I love it. Yeah, let me know where you're coming in from. I would love to know. I'd love to see your beautiful faces. I don't care if you're in your pajamas still or if you're ready to go, right? We show up as we are, authentically ourselves. We've got London, Bedfordshire, Leeds, Cornwall, Madeira, Southampton, Sussex, Edinburgh. I love it. Love it. I love it. All right. And if we can mute ourselves, that would be great, because I want to make sure we get the best sound quality for everyone. Awesome. Okay, great. Wonderful to see you. Give me a yes in the chat if you were part of our boot camp. It was our best boot camp that we've had in a very long time. We had most homework submitted. We had the most engagement we've seen in a long time. It was awesome. Good. Yay. Okay. Everyone giving me a yes. Okay. And if you weren't, that's okay too. So if this is the first time you've hung out with TechPixies, if it's the first time you've done the crash course, if it's the first time you've shown up, you're like, okay, I'm going to show up this morning because I want to know, put a 1 in the chat just so I know who you are and you're in for the first time. All right. Awesome. Yes. And anytime you want to reach out to me, just email support@techpixies.com. I will always reply, or someone on my team will. So, okay, great. So lots of ones as well. So people who haven't done the boot camp but are ready to get caught up to speed with social media in 1 hour. You think it's possible? It is possible. I promise you, we're going to do it today. All right. So, and for whatever reason, my slides are doing something weird. So I've got 2 sets of slides. So we're going to start on one set and then we're going to move to another set. But you know what? It's all going to work out, because that's just the way it goes. I have said for years, we need to stop calling this the crash course. Something always crashes. This time it was my slides, but hey. All right, so let's get started. I like to start on time, and whoever comes in a little bit later, they'll get caught up to speed. We're gonna go right in on this. It's gonna be a power hour, you guys. Power hour. All right, so feel free to engage in the chat. I would love for you to engage in the chat. And let's try and keep it focused on, there's certain parts I'm going to encourage you to get engaged, stay focused on those parts rather than some side chats, because then you'll miss the point. We're going to go so fast. Okay. So I want to make sure that we're focused. Give me a yes in the chat if we can focus. Can we focus? Yes, yes, yes. Okay, good. All right. Amy's in, Melissa's in, Melinda's in, Sarah, Nancy's in, Toby's in. Great. Awesome. Okay. So let's do it. Let's do it. By the end of our time together, you're going to have clarity on which networks will work best for you, what and when to post, how you can leverage social media to increase your confidence and become financially independent, right? So if we increase our confidence, we increase the likelihood that we're going to become financially independent. Give me a yes in the chat if you would like to become financially independent, right? I know I work with a lot of women who are not yet financially independent, and this is very important to me, but you have to have the confidence first. And one of the best ways I think you can get the confidence is to learn social media. Toby's like, yes, yes, yes. Good. All right. So stay with me till the end. I did promise you a gift, and we will give you our social media dictionary. It's 138 pages. It's got all the definitions that you need to know for all the major networks that we teach. So that's going to be something really important for you to grab if you're going to be here all the way till the end. Okay. Please turn off distractions. I know it's very easy to get distracted. I'm going to do that myself. I'm going to turn my volume down on my phone, and I'm going to put it over to the side, and it's not going to distract me. So do your best to turn off your distractions. Be fully present. We're going to go through a lot of material here. You're going to want to be turned on and tuned in. Okay. So if you can do that, that would be great. All right. So I'm going to go through a couple reasons why you might be here today. Reason number one, you're excited about the prospect of returning to work, but you get frustrated that every job you look up mentions social media. And because you've been busy looking after everybody else, you've fallen behind with your tech skills and confidence. No shame here. If that's you, put a 1 in the chat. Okay. All right. Reason number two, you're motivated to change careers because don't tell anyone you don't really like your job anyway. You're tired of not getting paid what you're worth, and you want to find a more fulfilling and stimulating work. If that's you, put number 2 in the chat. I love this little, I hate my job. I hate my job. I hate my job. I won't tell anyone, I promise. All right. Reason number 3, you are intrigued by the idea that you could launch a business you've been dreaming about, and you know you need social media to connect with potential customers, but you are totally overwhelmed by all the things you need to learn, which means the idea remains just that, an idea. Is that you? I have a gal that I'm working with right now, 25 years she's had on an idea, and in 6 weeks, she's rolled that idea out. All right, so that might be you. Put a 3 in the chat. Okay, reason number 4. I love this. I love the gifts. Maybe you have a business, but you feel annoyed that social media is such a time suck and you aren't getting any sales, or you're not getting sales anywhere near what you thought you'd be making by now. And that for all that freaking hard work, and you need a new, more manageable strategy to grow your business. If that's you, put a 4 in the chat, right? Like, I'm freaking doing this thing and it is freaking not working. Sarah's like, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. Oh my gosh, I love it. I so relate. Okay, there's more. Or number 5, you're tired of asking others in your life to help you sort things out technically, and you want to wow them instead with your awesome tech skills. If that's you, put a 5 in the chat. I had to add that one because there were people that were coming onto this and they're like, I am so a 5, right? And I wasn't included. So if you haven't put it in yet, put it in. What are you? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Are you all of them? Right? Where, who are you? What are you? Where are you? Where are you on the scale? Right? I just want to know, helps me to get an idea for who we're dealing with here. All right. Whatever you are, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or all of them, I fully support you. That's my job. My job is to support you to navigate social media the way you want to navigate it, to leverage it the way you want to leverage it. So I fully support you, whatever you want to do. All right. TechPixies is a very well-established, multi-award-winning social media training company. We have outlived all of our competition. So if you want to know where to go to get your best social media training in the country, in the United Kingdom, it's here. It's at TechPixies. You're in really good hands. We have been around since 2015. We've positively impacted the lives of 13,000 women who've gone through our superhero boot camps and come onto our social media crash course. We've got over 500 5-star reviews across Google, Facebook, and our podcast. We're CPD certified in Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, Pinterest, social media strategy, and social media management. And we're about to be CPD certified in TikTok, which is really awesome. And this is where it all started, with 12 women in a cold church hall around the corner from me in Oxford, right? I had a dream. It was to help 12 women return to work after a career break. We had a 100% success rate. And over the years, we've moved it online and we work with women all over the country. This is a map from a couple of years ago. Now we have even more pins on there, but you wouldn't be able to see anything if I put that one up there. All right. So personally, I have been in your shoes and I have leveraged social media to do lots of different things. I've leveraged it to get engaged. True story. I just told it this morning on our Mindset Monday training for our TechPixies who are already in our program. I leveraged it to return to work following 3 career breaks. I took 2 career breaks, 1 career break to try and make the Olympic team for archery. And I took 2 career breaks to to have babies, right? And then I also launched 3 businesses using social media, including the award-winning TechPixies, which was my last business, and I'm still doing that one. So take a deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Let me ask you a question. Just think for a second. What is possible for you if you learn to leverage social media to improve your confidence and become financially independent? What's possible for you? Tell me in the chat, what's possible for you? What's one thing that you could do if you learn to leverage social media? When I was launching TechPixies, I had 3 visions for what I call my social media vision. 1 was to help 12 women return to work. That was who I was primarily working with at the time. 2 was that I would get paid to do that, right? And then 3 was what I was going to do with the money that I made from doing that. So the first thing I did was I took my family on a 2-day holiday to the New Forest. It's all, that's what I could afford with the money that I made. I took my family on a 2-day holiday to the New Forest. I paid for it with my money that I made running my social media training program. And then the second thing I paid for was someone to come and help me in my house. So I have a woman, she's a widow. She has 5 daughters. Her husband died of cancer. She comes every week and she helps me in my house. She started coming to my house once a week, the week I started TechPixies, and we're still in partnership together. She still comes. She still is a very good friend of mine. So what's possible for you? If you learn to leverage social media, what would be possible for you? Amanda says growth. And Michelle, this is going fast, says successful projects, not just ideas and dreams. I love that. Rewarding work and financial freedom, says Marina. Yes, awesome. I want to inspire my kids and show them that they can do it too. Yes, I love it. Confidence. I love it. Yeah, if you can distill it down to one word, I'd love that too. Build a legacy business, grow freedom, and travel. Travel's a big one for a lot of people. I love that. All right, so think about it. Have a think about it. I'm going to ask you the question again later on. So success. All right, learning how to leverage social media professionally is the single most powerful way that you can improve your digital skill set and your confidence at the same time, so that you can start the journey of becoming financially independent quickly. You're going to hear me say this over and over again, because this is the results that our students get when they come through our program. All right, so let me just say this, and it's very important for you to hear this. You deserve financial independence. I want that to land. You deserve it. You deserve to be financially independent. You deserve to be able to live a life you love. Why do you deserve it? Because you're breathing. Life chose you, right? None of us woke up this morning and said, oh, hey, heart, why don't you start beating? Or, oh, hey, lungs, why don't you fill up with air? Or, oh, hey, blood, why don't you just flow through my veins, right? Life picked you. That's why you deserve a life that you would love. How do we create a life that we would love? Well, in this world, we create it by earning money, right? That's one of the ways we learn to live a life we love. All right. And you deserve it 100%. And once we start turning up the volume on deserving, it changes everything. Life is too short to keep working for free. Give me a yes in the chat if you're working for free. If you're a woman, you're working for free, right? Did you get paid to wash the dishes this morning? Did you get paid to empty the dishwasher this morning? Did you get paid to make your kids' beds? Did you get paid to make your, wash the clothes? No. Did you get paid to go to the grocery store? You're working for free, right? And that doesn't mean we're going to stop doing all the things that we do because we love our families, right? And I know not everyone here has kids, but you got families, right? You got people you love. You got elderly parents you're looking after, right? I know you because I am you, and I have women in my community who are you, right? So if you're in the second half of your life, which is many of us, right? Like, give us a yes in the chat if you're in the second half of life, right? You especially have to think about how I'm not going to work for free, right? Right. Okay, good. We're on the same page here. All right, so here's what we're going to do this morning, and we're going to go through it really quick. We're going to talk about which social media networks are right for you. We're going to talk about how social media works right now. We're going to talk about what and when to post on social media. And we're going to talk about a mindset hack that's going to help you bust through the brain blocks. Anyone have brain blocks they'd like to bust through when it comes to social media? Oh, yeah. Amy's like, yes, please, raising her hand. All right. Number 5, we're going to talk about 4 simple steps that will change your life. And then I'm going to tell you about a super special gift. And then there's question and answer. I don't know if we're going to have question and answer, to be honest. So if you got questions, email us at support@techpixies.com. WhatsApp them to me afterwards. I'll answer them. The WhatsApp numbers on techpixies.com. I am very accessible, right? This is not a place where like I show up and I disappear and then you never talk to me again. I want to make sure you get your questions answered. We have a no question left behind rule at TechPixies. All right, so let's talk about which social media networks are right for you. So this is the social media metrics, okay? Network metrics, network matrix. Yeah. All right. So business to business. Are you a business talking to other businesses? Accounting firms are talking to other businesses. Bookkeeping firms talking to other businesses. Social media management sometimes are talking to other businesses. So really it's business to business. Okay. LinkedIn, that's your primary network. All right. Crash course. We're not going to go into all the details. LinkedIn's number 1. Okay. Then you've got Twitter, Clubhouse, Facebook, Pinterest. They're okay. And they work, but LinkedIn's your primary one. Business to consumer, B2C, business to consumer. Very important. It's a different type of connection. Business to consumer is where you're selling direct to the consumer, right? So Emma Bridgewater, business to consumer. Jules, business to consumer. Scamp and Dude, business to consumer. Okay. So Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, those three are your top three networks. But YouTube, Twitter, also known as X, Clubhouse, and TikTok, they're also pretty good. But it's pretty much everything except for LinkedIn. Okay. Now, the reason I highlighted Instagram, Pinterest, and Facebook in particular is you can click straight from the image to the product you want to buy on those networks, right? You can connect it to a catalog and you can go straight through to buy the products. All right, SEO. What does SEO stand for? It stands for search engine optimization. Search engine optimization, okay? Now, this is where someone goes into Google and they're searching for something and then your content shows up. So YouTube, obviously, is the number one search engine in the world is Google, and it owns the number one video search engine in the world, which is YouTube, right? So YouTube is owned by Google. So that's your top one. However, Pinterest and TikTok coming up. And then I just the other day, I was searching for something and a post from Facebook showed up. Twitter's now showing up, or X is now showing up. So everything is becoming more searchable. So what you put out there sort of stays out there and it gets found, which is why you have to think about how you bring it back to your company, how you reuse links that you're sharing, et cetera, all the time. All right. So news. All right. Now, breaking news, Twitter. Well, sorry, X. I get anyone not quite used to the word X yet? This is driving me nuts. Give me an X in the chat if you don't, for like, you keep saying Twitter. All right. So Twitter is your breaking news. LinkedIn is your industry news, right? This is where the CEOs, the COOs, the CTOs, the CMOs, all of the leading people in an industry are going to be on LinkedIn talking about stuff. So if you want breaking industry news, you definitely want to be on LinkedIn. Yeah, I sort of gave up on X, although we have to revamp our Twitter module and teach it. So it'll be now X, but it's sort of it's a network we never find anybody on. Like our key connecting piece is not X/Twitter. But if you want to connect with journalists, you want to get the latest news, all that stuff, that's where it's at. So it's useful to a certain degree. Okay. Now let's talk about the types of content you can put onto social media. All right. So images. When Instagram and Pinterest started out, they were image only. Right? So it's evolved, right? And I wouldn't say image is the most powerful way to reach people using social media anymore, but you still can. So Instagram, Pinterest are your image networks. They still are very viable with images. Sound. All right. Now this is a lot of people, like when I say this, they're like, what? So you can do sound only social media. And that's the primary one is Clubhouse. Okay. Clubhouse showed up during the pandemic when people were sick of being on screens, and it sort of took off. And then I think it's still going, but it's not crazy. That said, I have students who are using Clubhouse, leveraging Clubhouse, and they're making really good livings off the back of it. So, hey, there's a place for everyone. It's like a live radio show, basically. Now, if you want to put text, like no pictures, no videos, you've got to use X or Twitter. You've got Facebook, LinkedIn, Threads. It like sort of came in and died, and that it was like Facebook's answer to X, and it just totally failed. But you can't put text, or you can't put URLs or links on Instagram and TikTok. Okay, so people think they can, and they can't. So you'll put a link in your description on Instagram. No one is ever going to be able to click on that, so don't do that. Now you can put a link in the stickers, so you can share your post into your stories, and you can put a link sticker on your stories, and that will click out, right? But it's very important to know that links do not work on Instagram or on TikTok. So you might put them there, but no one's going to click on them. So those really, really long links that no one can ever, remember, don't put those in your descriptions in Instagram and TikTok. They just won't work. Okay. Like really important to know that. All right. And then video/live video, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. I mean, live video is great, and it's a really great tool to use. It's a really great tool to show up, make you show up every week, right? So I show up every week live on my social media feeds, whether I like it or not, rain or shine, I'm there. I've been doing it for 205 podcast episodes, right? So I film my podcast episodes live, then we put them up on the podcast software, and then we email them out to our subscribers. I had a mentor that said, do a live every single week and put it on your calendar, same time, same date. So I do mine usually on Tuesdays at 9 o'clock. I interview someone for our podcast. It's pretty much every week, pretty consistently. We'd use StreamYard. We post it across all the networks at the same time. And then we edit it and stick it up on the podcast and email it out, right? So that is what I would say. Live video, super, super good. Okay, take a screenshot of that. This is going to be really super useful for you. If you've got your camera, screenshot that. That's your network matrix. We got through it in 7 minutes. I'm actually impressed with myself. Sometimes I go on and on about this. So now I'm going to move on. All right, so my top network tips. Someone just said, question, which one should we be on? Exactly. So number one, be on the networks your potential customers are on, right? It seems logical, but not a lot of people do that. They get on every single network. You only need to be on the networks that your potential customers are on. So what I would encourage you to do is social media stack. Start with one, then switch to a second one. Don't try and get on all the networks all the time. Get onto one network, two networks. I'd say two, just so you have something to compare and see how it goes in terms of connecting with people. If you're not sure which networks people are on, just ask them. If you're already working with people, just ask them, what social media network do you prefer, right? Or you can do a survey. If you've got an email list, you can survey your list and ask them. But just talk to your potential customer and see where they're hanging out on social media. And then the last tip I have is research people or organizations in a similar space to you and see what's working for them. So a good example, like let's say you're a life coach and you're in, maybe you're in the marriage coaching space or whatever. You go and you find a couple of people who are crushing it in your industry. You go find their websites. Almost every single website will link out to their social media handles. You go and you look at their social media feeds and you see which social media network is doing better for them. And the way you judge this is not based on the number of likes. You judge it on the number of comments, right? How many people are engaging with their comment? You want an engaged following. When someone puts a comment on your post, it goes farther than if someone just likes your post. So you want to look at, do they have engaging followers on these networks? And where is the engagement happening? That's the network that you potentially want to be on, right? So that's just an exercise you can do to have a look around, okay? All right, so I'll give you an example of Maureen, totally overwhelmed with social media, major case of imposter syndrome. She came to TechPixies training. She learned how to use Pinterest, how to create reels on Instagram. She got some newfound confidence with social media, helped her to launch her fair trade business. She built a website and a newsletter off the back of that. She didn't sign up to TechPixies to build her website and launch her newsletter, but because she got the confidence with social media and we have bonuses that teach you how to build a website and launch a newsletter, she did that, right? So she runs her company Tomeo. It's a beautiful company. I love to buy my mother for Mother's Day. I bought her Tomeo earrings and a Tomeo t-shirt, and I bought a t-shirt from another one of the companies in TechPixies. So I love buying stuff from TechPixies to give as gifts to my family, and a lot of the TechPixies buy from each other as well. All right, so your turn. Tell me, what network do you think you would enjoy learning the most, given the matrix that I just went through, right? What would you love to learn the most? Melanie says, do links to offers work in IG in comments? No, you got to use the link in the stories. Okay, Instagram, LinkedIn, IG, Pinterest, LinkedIn, Pinterest. Okay, Instagram, Pinterest, and LinkedIn. Those are the top three. Facebook. Yep. Okay. All right. LinkedIn, Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram. No one says TikTok. That's interesting. A couple months ago, everyone wanted to know about TikTok. Everyone's still interested in Instagram. Okay, well, it's good to know. YouTube. Yes. Awesome. All right. Is Facebook on decline? No. There's billions of people on Facebook. Facebook's great for people over a certain age. It's not so great for the young people, right? The young people aren't signing up to it. But if you are trying to reach someone in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and above, you will find them on Facebook. They are there. Okay. All right. TikTok's too chaotic for my brain. I hear you. Okay. So here's how social media works right now. Okay. So take a screenshot of this. This is the sunflower effect. All right. You want to create weekly content. I'm going to bust the myth that you need to be creating content every day. You will burn out creating content every day, right? All you need to do is create one piece of content a week, a good piece of content. Now, is it good when you start? No, it's pretty bad when you start. But the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. That's why I love the idea of doing, a live video every week on your social media feeds, just updating people. Maybe you've learned something new this week you want to share with people. Maybe you have an offer coming up you want to tell people about, etc. but one piece of content. You do not need to post every single day. Give me yes in the chat if you just had a major relief in your body when I said that. Yeah, I don't have to post every day, right? Weekly content, ladies. I guarantee you, if you post every week for a year, you'd have 52 pieces of content. Whereas if you try and post every day for the rest of your life, you're going to crash after 52 pieces of content. And then what's going to happen is you're going to post and ghost. You're going to post, and then you're going to disappear. Give me a yes in the chat if you've done that, right? No shame here. Give me a yes in the chat if you have posted and ghosted, because I had someone come onto the boot camp and she goes, I took a 2-week break that turned into a 2-month break that turned into a 2-year break, and now I'm here. I don't want you to take those breaks. I want you to create a content plan that works for you, right? So weekly content, it can be a blog, it can be a podcast, it can be a video, it can be all three, whatever you want to do, however you want to do it, right? But the point is one piece of content every week, and you just pick one of those three and you just run with it every single week. Now, how do you peddle that message out into the world? You've created these seeds, you've created this content, right? And how do you peddle it out to the world? Well, you put it on your social media, you send it out via email, and you stick it on your website. And you don't have to do all three of those either. You can start with social media, then you can add email, and then you can add a website, right? You don't have to do all three of them. When I started creating content, I started with blogs, and then I did videos, and then I did podcasting, right? So you don't have, like, these are stacking things. We can start with a blog that we, put onto social media. You can even write a blog on social media. There's a lot of space now on Facebook and on Instagram where you can write mini blogs. You can write mini stories. You can put up a picture and you can write a story about something you learned, right? Like, this is what happened to me and this is what I learned. And would you like me to help you? Right? There's so many people doing so many different amazing things. Or if you're a product person, right? You can put up a piece of a product that you made and tell the story behind it, right? I saw a really lovely video actually of a woman who showed exactly how she made her workspace out of 2 discarded IKEA shelves. It was really beautiful and really fun to watch. And it was the backstory behind something that you can't even buy from her, but it was just something, it was the backstory of her business, which was super cool. And then you always want to stem it back to your business or your product or your service, right? And even if you're a social media manager and you're doing social media for someone else, you want to make sure that the content that you're putting out on social media drives people back to the business somehow, right? And if you're a charity, drives back to the services that the charity offers, drives back to the ability to raise money for this charity, et cetera. So you always want to bring it back, stem it back to the product or the service that you're selling. So that's the sunflower effect, okay? That's how social media works very effectively for people just starting out or people who have a low budget, right? And don't, let me put it this way. Alex Hormozi, who's probably one of the very well-known people in the social media space right now, he built $100 million business teaching people how to build gym memberships. He now teaches, offers social media, et cetera, all these other things. But one of the things, and he does it all for free because he wants to buy into the businesses that are like turning over $1 million to $3 million profit. Okay, so Alex Hormozi is on a different level. But one of the things he said, and I just read it again last night, he creates 250 plus pieces of content a week. Now, he has a social media team who he pays $85,000 a month. And they follow him around with a camera and they create all the content off the back of just the stuff he does all the time. Now, anyone here have 85,000 a month to spare? Want to create 250 pieces of content a week? No. So this strategy is not for the influencer that wants to make 100 million a year. This strategy is for the woman that wants to make an extra 1,000 to 3,000 a month. Give me a yes in the chat if you'd like an extra 1,000 to 3,000 a month. Give me a yes in the chat if you're a small business owner and you'd like to save 500 to 1,000 a month. This is your strategy. Okay, not Alex Hormozi's 85,000 a month strategy. Okay, this is your strategy. This is for the person starting out. This is for the person growing their business. I have done this strategy and I have built a 1.6 million pound business over the last 8 years using this strategy. Okay, and when I've tried to deviate from the strategy, I always come back to the strategy. This strategy works. Okay, it works. All right, so next, here's what you want to do when you're thinking about your content. When you're creating content, I want you to think of the 52 questions that someone you're going to work with is asking. What are the questions they're asking you? That is your content. And very often it's the same questions over and over again, and you can bucket them. So at TechPixies, we talk about 4 things. We talk about financial independence for women. We talk about social media. We talk about life coaching and neurocoaching, brain science, neuroscience, and how we can subconsciously rewire our brains to create the life that we would love, right? Those are our sort of 3 main things. There's a 4th one in there. Oh, women's issues, menopause, losing a baby, like all those things that happen to women. We talk about it, right? Because there's a lot going on, right, in women's lives. So we also talk about that, okay? So 52 questions. Ask yourself the questions. What are the questions people are asking you? Bucket them into, 4 areas, and then you just rotate through those areas. It's super easy when you think about it that way. And the content can be 5-10 minutes long. I have a mentor once a week creates a 5-minute video, a 10-minute video, and he emails it out to his mailing list. And that's it. One and done per week, right? One and done per week. All right. Now, video, very scary for a lot of people. Give me a yes if it's scary for you. No shame here. If it's scary for you, here's your top 3 tips. Okay. Embrace it. It's not going away. So you need a perma-smile. So when you're talking, you smile and talk at the same time. It's something you can learn to do. You get some good lighting and a little bit of courage, right? So I have a mentor who said, it's a great saying. She says, confidence comes from doing things that you've never done before and realizing you didn't die, right? So that's, you put yourself out there, you do your first video, your first is the worst, it's done, your heart's beating out of your chest, and then you're okay. I have a gal who's been doing live videos every single week. She's getting better and better and better and better and better at them. Her very first videos were terrible. And she would tell you that. She was scared to death. She was sweaty. She couldn't remember what she wanted to say, right? And I said, well, just get a little card and put 3 things on there that you want to say, right? You can create your own little script, right? So not 52 topics, guys, like 4 topics, 5 topics, but 52 questions around those topics. Okay. Be really clear on that. 52 topics, you're going to get burnt out as well, because then you got to come up with 104 topics if you go into year 2, right? So we want 4 to 5 topics, 52 questions, right? How do we bucket the questions? 10 questions per topic. And then guess what? Next year you get to repeat the same stuff, but now you're evolved. You've got a whole nother year of information. You can tell new stories and tell it a different way, but it's the same stuff. There are people in the online training industry, they teach the exact same thing over and over again, just 100 different ways, right? And it's very important to know you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Okay. And then the last thing, email your weekly content to your mailing list. Don't just post it on social media, right? Email it out. It needs to go by email. People always go, well, what do I email people? Email them your social media content, right? It's a brilliant strategy. It's killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Terrible saying, but true. So email your weekly content to your mailing list and don't just post it on social media. There's 2 reasons for that. 1, social media is only seen 3 to 10%. So you have 100 people on your mailing list, or 100 people on your social media, only 3 to 10 people are going to see it. If you have 100 people on your mailing list and you email them your social media content, 20 to 60% will open the email, right? So 20 to 60%. So 20 to 60 people will be aware of what you're doing, right? Andre says, I know nothing about mailing lists. That's okay. We have a whole bonus in our social media management certification about mailing lists, because I want people to start building mailing lists. It's a super simple strategy for social media to convert people from social media following onto your email list to eventually wanting to buy from you, right? The sales are in the mails. Okay. All right. So that's my top tips on that. Okay. Carrie, Rian, great example of someone. She lost her job as a supply teacher during the pandemic. She had to move in with her parents. With TechPixies training, she created a guide for parents with kids with math anxiety. So that's how you create your mailing list. You create a lead magnet. So she created a guide for parents with kids with math anxiety. She posted it on Facebook using her TechPixie skills. And this was shared hundreds of times, right? Give me a yes in the chat if overnight during the pandemic, you became a math tutor for your children or your grandchildren or your godchildren or your nieces or your nephews, right? And then suddenly she had hundreds of parents signing up to get her guide. Then she started sending out weekly emails, and then she started filling all of her one-on-one spots. And then by December, she had 21 students within 12 months. And she's like, Joy, I have a problem. I'm fully booked. What do I do? And I said, well, now you do group coaching, right? And then you start training the trainers. So she now owns her own home which she bought with the money that she made from the success of her business, and she's no longer on universal credit. How cool is that? Give me a yes in the chat if you think that is pretty cool. I think Carrie's pretty cool. She then went on to win the Outstanding SEN Educator of the Year award. SEN is the special education needs for Wales. Like how ridiculously cool is that? And there's the actual proof that she actually did buy her home within 2 years of joining TechPixies. She actually posted that in the TechPixie Community Hub. We have the most amazing people in our community. Okay, so your turn. What type of weekly content would you like to create? Video, blog, or podcast? Put it into the chat. Video, blog, or podcast. When I started out, I was doing blogs. And then I started doing videos. And then I did a podcast, right? Okay, good. Blog, video, blog, right? Okay, now, if you're putting blog, now, no shame here, right? We're in a very safe space. If you're putting blog, are you saying that because you're terrified of video? Give me a yes in the chat. Or are you saying blog because you don't know anything about podcasts? Put podcast in the chat, right? If you don't know anything about podcasting, if it feels like a really scary thing out there, right? Yeah, so both, right? Podcast, yeah, terrified of video and podcast. Okay, so 2 things. We have a podcast guide. If you go to techpixies.com/podcast, as long as you review our podcast and send us a screenshot that you've done that, we give you instructions on how to do that. We give you our podcast guide. I started my podcast like from nothing. We have over 205 episodes now. We have almost 100,000 downloads. We were at 98,000 downloads the last time I checked. I'm so excited. We're getting really close to that 100,000 mark. I knew nothing about podcasting. Nothing. So I give you my guide for free because I want you to get started on podcasting. And video, again, it's one of those things where once you start doing it, it gets easier and easier and easier. The first is the worst. Okay. Once you get over that first initial fear, right? Like my mentor says, if you don't have the confidence, or if you're doing something you're scared of and realizing you didn't die, that's where confidence comes from. Another one of my mentors says, if you don't have the confidence, grab the courage, right? Grab the courage. That's why I'm wearing my Be Brave and Sparkle t-shirt, right? Sparkle is the value set for TechPixies: supportive, positive, authentic relationships with women who are keen to learn and want to be empowered, right? We care deeply that you are brave and that you are bold and that you go live the life you love. And it starts, in my mind, with getting confident on social media. Okay, so what and when to post on social media. I promised I would tell you this. All right, yes, Amanda, you could read on video what you've written. People would love that. Okay, do my 6 B's and you'll fly. Take a screenshot of this. This is very important. If you just do these 6 things, you will see an improvement on your social media. Be on brand, authentic, and professional. What does that mean? Well, the colors of TechPixies are navy and pink. I love gold as well. Like I've got the, Be Brave and Sparkle t-shirt with the gold on there. We have stars. I have stars on my t-shirt. I'm wearing stars on my necklace. I've got stars on my earrings. I've got a star behind me. We love stars, right? Big fan of stars. The stars are always throughout all of our stuff, and the colors are always throughout all. When I buy clothes, I have a rain jacket. It's pink. I do a lot of my videos live on social media outside in my pink rain jacket because pink is the color of TechPixies, as is navy. So when you're on brand, authentic, and professional, it means you're being yourself. I do not have makeup on right now. I don't like makeup, so I don't wear makeup, but that's okay with me. I show up as me. You might love makeup. Wear makeup. You do you. Dolly Parton does her, and she's awesome, right? So you do you, right? If you love makeup, wear makeup. If you do your hair, do your hair. I mean, it's just not my thing. I don't go crazy with my hair, and I don't do my makeup. I'm very comfortable with that, and I just show up as who I am. Be aware of your analytics means look at your analytics. Give me a yes in the chat if you can relate to not looking at your analytics. Like you don't even know where they are. You don't know what they would tell you if you did find them. So many people don't look at their analytics. Look at your analytics, right? We teach you in the social media management certification program how to look at your analytics because you want to look at them. You want to see how things are doing, right? Okay, be engaged. Be engaged means if someone comments on your stuff, you comment back. Rookie mistake is that to put stuff out there and let people comment on it and not reconnect with them. Think about it like this. If you were texting your best friend and then she didn't text you back or he didn't text you back, you would think that, and you were used to texting them, you would think that something happened to them. You'd go around on their house and knock on their door and make sure they're okay. Social media is like not your best friend. It's people you don't know. You don't have a deep connection with them. And so if someone comments on your stuff and you don't comment back, they just carry on to the next person, right? There's not that deep connection. You get a deep connection with someone by responding and connecting to them, right? That's how you build a deeper connection with someone. So be engaged. If someone comments on your stuff, always comment back. We have a no comment left behind rule at TechPixies. We have a no question left behind rule at TechPixies. It's very important. We answer every question. It's very important. We reply to every comment. Okay, be consistent. Don't post and ghost. I already talked about this. Once a week for 7 weeks is better than once a day for 7 days and then disappearing for 6 weeks. Always, always. Don't post and ghost. Be consistent. Beyond when your followers are on. This means post when your followers are going to see it, right? Which is going to be for us at TechPixies, it's at 10 a.m. and 8 p.m. most days. Fridays, 4 o'clock, terrible time to post. Every time we get a new intern that does something, they always like to test Fridays at 4 o'clock or 6 o'clock. I'm like, don't do that. It doesn't work. Doesn't matter how great the content is, it will fall flat. Doesn't work for us. Sunday mornings don't work for us. Saturday mornings do, but we've learned that through trial and error. So find out when your followers are going to be on or your community is going to be on, and that's when you post your content. Now you can use pre-scheduling software, so you don't have to actually be there when it's happening, but you want to make sure that you're replying to comments within about 24 hours, right? You don't have to be on social media all the time, but if you have set times when you post, then you know, okay, within 24 hours, I want to do a social media sweep and make sure I reply to everybody, right? Very important. Okay, be relevant with your content. Your content is not about you. Don't be a peacock, be a magnet. Your content's about them. What does the person who wants to work with you need to know in order to work with you? In my world, the people who listen to the podcast need to know that it's possible to be a single mom who loses all of her pension and who goes out on her own, builds a company, repays her pension, and is now making more money working for herself than she was before and supporting her single son, right? That's what my community needs to know. And we have a podcast about Fern Fuller, which is exactly that. And I saw her pop in today. So Fern, that was for you. I saw you were here, so I thought I'd share your story. So that's what our audience needs to know. They need to know that it's possible no matter what age, no matter what situation, circumstance, or condition you find yourself in. We have carers of children with severe disabilities who are making money using social media. We have women over the age of 60. We have women in their 70s building businesses because they joined TechPixies as a result of being in this world. So your content is what's relevant. What does the person you want to work with need to know in order to say yes to you? Amy says, I love Fern's podcast. Oh, Amy, Fern, I love that because I think she's here today. Okay, posting top tips. Consistency is the queen bee. All right, I gave you the 6 B's. Consistency is the queen bee, okay? Don't post and ghost. All right, connection is more important than broadcasting, right? Don't be a peacock, be a magnet. The sales are in the mails, right? It's not about, social media is not about getting sales. It's about connecting with people. You get them onto your mailing list, then you make the sales, okay? And then the last thing is show up on your social media. It statistically makes a huge difference. What does this mean? Put your picture on there. Put your video on there. Connect on a personal level. You know, I see a lot of people, they do pictures of a toothbrush and they do pictures of a toilet and they do pictures of a car and they do picture of a dog and they do pictures of a flower. And they never take off their invisibility cloak. Well, if you never take off your invisibility cloak, you're never going to have that connection. So you've got to get up the courage to take off your invisibility cloak and get onto social media. Sarah Bronner, she was a new mother. Now her little girl is, well, she's got a couple kids, but her kids are not little anymore. They're a bit bigger now. But she joined TechPixies when she was a new mother. She needed to find flexible work so she could stay at home with her son. That's what it was. It was her son. She uses social media to help musicians. And this is really important because she had a baby that wasn't happy when she was away, right? She needed to create an environment where she could still be home. With the TechPixie training, she built a portfolio of 6 social media clients, and she built a social media team, including another TechPixie. So she not only covered the cost of her childcare when her son was actually feeling well enough to then start going to nursery, but then she also built a social media agency. How cool is that, right? And when her son needed her at home, she was a recorder teacher. She used to travel around and get paid to teach people recorder. So she wasn't in the house. Whereas when she was doing social media from the house, she could be there with her son until he was old enough to go to nursery. By the time he was able to go to nursery, guess what? She could pay for it because she had built up this social media agency. I think that's so cool. And one of my favorite stories is Julia Heffer. She went on maternity leave and started thinking about other options, but didn't have the confidence to do her own thing. With TechPixies, she gained the confidence to go out on her own. She established her USP and her skills. She's a branding coach, and she learned to leverage Instagram, and now she gets clients as a result. She built a business that she loves, and she made more money in her first 6 weeks of her business than in the previous 12 months at an employed job. That is a real true story, right? These are real stories of real TechPixies. So she left paid employment, and then she started earning what she was worth finally, right? So some of you I know have the ability to be a Julia or to be a Sarah, right? You just haven't made the move yet. Okay, so which B resonates with you? I just went through 6 Bs. Be on brand, be consistent, be engaged. Which B resonates with you? Be aware of your analytics. I would love to know. Consistent. Yeah, the queen bee. And there we go. Melinda, all of them. I love it. Be engaged, Maureen. Yeah. Maureen says it's so true. If I comment on a post and don't get at least a thank you, I stop following. Yeah. Right. Time for that. Be authentic. Yeah. You're welcome. All right. So are you inspired? What would you love to use social media for? Tell me in the chat. What would you love to use social media for? It's very important. Okay. So I promised you a mindset hack that was going to help you. When most people think about social media, when most people think about what they would love, right? So I just asked you, what would you love to use social media for? And you're typing that into the chat. Be a busy bee. I love it, Clarice. That's great. When you start thinking about what you would love, it's not long after that you think about what I would love. Like, I would love to be able to be financially independent to take my family on a holiday. I would love to hire someone to come and help in my house. I would love to pay back my pension. That was Fern's. I want to pay back my pension. I would love to have the time freedom to take my son back and forth to whatever it is that he wants to do, right? So a lot of times we lean into what we would love, and then we get hit by these things called ants, automatic negative thoughts. Right? Dagmar says, I want to make my website successful. Andre says, I want to promote my business and give up my part-time job. Amen. So these ants come crawling in, right? You lean into the idea, I want to quit my job, and it's like, what? All these ants come rushing in, right? It's like an ant attack. And we start to say things like, well, I don't know how to use social media. I don't know how to start a business. I don't know what I want to do. I'm too old, right? So all of the ants start coming in. Well, here's a teeny tiny word that if we add it to the sentence, we can change the sentence, okay? So I don't know how to use social media yet. I don't know how to start a business yet. I don't know what I want to do yet. I'm not too old yet, right? Angela Laws, she ran the social media. She probably still does. She's 72 years old. I interviewed her. She runs the social media for Trusted House Sitters, huge company all over the world now. 72 years old. I interviewed her like 5 years ago, so she's probably 77. She said, I'm not too old for that. I can learn Facebook and I can go and do that. Now, we didn't teach her. She figured that out on her own, but just it's a great piece of proof that you're never too old to learn something new. In fact, it's really good from a neuroscience perspective. It's really good for your brain to go and learn something new. It makes your brain work, which is a good thing. All right. So let's bust the limiting belief that you have around social media. Think of a limiting belief you have. Put yet on the back of the sentence, at the end of the sentence. Drop it into the chat. Let's start working with that new word. I'd love for you to work with that new word. All right. I love it. Karen says, I've always loved learning. That's such a, see, we don't even have to bust that ant. That's a good one. I don't know what I want to do yet. I love it. I don't know what I want to do yet. That's a great ant to bust. Right. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to do yet. Yes, exactly. I don't know what to do. Yeah. I'm not too old yet. That's right, Adele. You're not too old. I don't understand how to use social media for business yet, says Karen. I don't have the confidence yet, says Maureen. I'm not too old or menopausal yet. I love it, Anita. I don't know where to start yet. I'm not too old, but I love learning. I love it. So I'm not too old yet, and I love learning. I love it. I don't have the money to do it yet. Awesome, Joanna. Okay, good. So we're working on this, which is great. All right. So Anne Marie Miles, she left work due to stress and depression, couldn't do a 9-to-5 office job anymore. She joined TechPixies, unsure of what she wanted to do next, but she was ready to re-enter the workforce. She was a writer and she had a big fear of being on video. Anyone relate to this? Give me a yes in the chat. With TechPixies training, she launched a podcast, which now has over 2,000 downloads, and a YouTube channel. She launched her social media coaching business, and she became the host of a Christian radio show in Ireland. And now she's planning her TED Talk. Hello. How amazing is that? Right? That's incredible. So, Anne Marie, she completely transformed her life through not just through the social media, but through the neuro coaching. So, neuroscience, we are neuroscience backed. That's what we teach. It's not just social media. All right. So, let's fast forward 6 months. Okay. It's September now. So, October, November, December, January, February, March. Let's fast forward to March 2024. You're now confident with social media. You now are financially independent using your new skills. You now believe you deserve the money you're earning. Tell me how you'd celebrate with your first paycheck in the chat, right? What would you do? How would you celebrate? Put it into the chat. I would love to know. There's Anne Marie. She said, she was sitting right here, right where you are. I said this exact question. She said, I would hire a cleaner 1 hour a week and it would change my life. And then she got her social media management certification and she posted that in our Facebook group. Okay. Holiday in Iceland, new shoes. I love it. I love it. I love it. Geeking out with some new tech stuff, buy a flight for me and the kids to go to South Africa. Oh, Toby, I love it. I love it. I love it. And I know Fern's just done that. Go on holiday with my adult children and any partners. I love it. Okay, great. These are really, really good ones. Okay, now, here are the mistakes that I see people make when it comes to social media. All right, there's 3 mistakes. First one, they try and go it alone. All right, you may have heard the African proverb, which is if you want to go, if you want to go far, go wait. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Right? That's a big mistake I see. People try and do it alone. You are way better off learning social media in a community of people. The second mistake I see people make is they think that they can learn to do everything for free on YouTube. And you know what? You can. I wish you all the luck in the world. You can go to YouTube and you can sift through terrible videos that are outdated and figure out how to do stuff. At TechPixies, we have an exact roadmap for how to do stuff. So I wish you all the luck in the world if you want to go learn on YouTube. I would rather you do it on a proven roadmap. And then mistake number 3, they think they need permission to invest in their future. You do not need anyone else's permission except for yours to invest in your future. 100%. It's you investing in you for your future. This is not investing in TechPixies because you got to do the work. I'm not going to do the work for you. You got to do the work. So the way I see it, you have 2 options at TechPixies. One is you can go continue to do what you're doing, go it alone, learn it on YouTube, right? Without a proven roadmap. But you run the risk of being in the same place this time next year. Or 2, you can commit 100% to upskilling with social media so you can return to work, change careers, start a business. More importantly, so that you can become financially independent. So which one sounds more appealing to you guys? Option 1 or option 2? Set money aside for a second and just which option sounds more appealing to you? Be stuck in the same place you are now, or option 2, moving on, moving forwards? Option 2. Absolutely. You're in the right place. You're absolutely in the right place. So if you're ready to upskill with social media, then I'd like to invite you to come inside our social media management certification program. It is a multi-award winning CPD certified 6-month social media management certification. Our social media management certification program is the only online training of its kind that combines neuroscience with social media training so that you can transform your digital skill set and your confidence at the same time. This sets you up to become financially independent in less time than you could have imagined. So if that's appealing to you, give me a yes in the chat. I would just love to know where we're at on this. Who's excited about that? Let me show you the actual roadmap. I've got 7 minutes to show you the roadmap. All right. So the roadmap goes like this. You're here. You've started the journey. You're on the crash course. You've already started to learn how social media works. I went through 3 key things and I talked about how to start busting those brain barriers that stand in your way. The next step is the essential foundations on the roadmap. So by the end of the social media essential foundations, you'll have enough confidence with YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, and Twitter, or X, to conduct a professional conversation with someone else using key terminology for each network, to set up professionally branded profiles for each network, to create content that the algorithms like, to post across all the networks with ease using our click-by-click, step-by-step how-to video library. Go to techpixies.com/yes to find out more. That's the very first step on our roadmap. The second step on the roadmap is the expert foundations. And by the end of our social media expert foundations, you'll have enough confidence with YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, and Twitter to know the kinds of posts that will get the best engagement, to grow an engaged community, to understand where the analytics are and how to intelligently read them and interpret them. You'll be able to pick up 6 CPD certified certificates when you pass all your quizzes, and you'll qualify for your cup of courage. So did anyone see me drinking out of my cup of courage? This is what we give all of our students who complete all their certificates. It's their own avatar on their own cup. And it is a very big reward for those of you who get to the end of your training, and you can get to your certification in 6 weeks. So you want to find out more, you go to techpixies.com/yes. All right. And once you've completed your certification, you've got your essential foundations, you've got your expert foundations, then you get 12 weeks in our social media management certification program. And this is where you put together a plan, you execute that plan, and you report on that plan. And it is awesome. And we throw in 5,000 pounds worth of templates. So by the end of the social media management certification, you'll have enough confidence to audit social media accounts across 6 major networks, actually across 8 now. We've added 2 more. Put together and present a visual marketing plan, put together an in-depth strategy document, put together and deliver a powerful report demonstrating your results. If you want to know more about that, go to techpixies.com/yes. I paid someone 5,000 pounds to build the template pack that we throw in for everyone who signs up to our social media management certification program. All right, now I promised you a free gift for staying and not being distracted. If you go to techpixies.com/dictionary, you can grab our social media dictionary. It's a 138-page social media dictionary. It's got all the key terminology that gets you started. If you want to know more about our program, you go to techpixies.com/yes. And I actually have 4 minutes for questions, so I will answer those. Let me just say we have a surprise bonus. If you sign up by today is the 25th of September, 2023. I was like, what year is it? And if you sign up by midnight, you get 2 free live tickets to our Money Mindset Masterclass. The first question that someone always asks me, and it just happened here, is how much does it all cost, right? So I want you to do this. Set aside the money for a second and ask yourself, do I want this? Do I want this? Just say yes or no. Would you, regardless of the money, would you want this, right? Put a yes in the chat if you would love this, if this would transform your life, because I want you to think from that energy, right? So I will tell you what it costs. It costs 1,997 pounds if you want to pay in full. And we give you an extra bonus, which is a full year's membership to our advanced progression program, which is what we normally only let our grads do. You get that alongside the program. But if you want to pay in installments, it's 197 pounds today, and then 197 pounds every month. And then let's say you're like Dee Shepherd, who's in our program, who just got offered the dream of her jobs. No, the job of her dreams. Thank you. She just got offered the job of her dreams. If you get offered the job of your dreams within 6 months, you can pay back the whole amount at the lower rate, the $1,997. Now, why do we price it at $1,997? Well, this is a very easy question to answer. On average, you can earn 1,000 to 3,000 pounds a month as a social media manager. Now, if you're a business owner, you can save yourself 500 to 1,000 pounds a month. So on average, you're going to earn 12,000 to 36,000 a year once you get the system up and running, right? Or if you're a business owner, you're going to save between 6,000 and 12,000 a year. Is it worth 1,997? I don't know. Is yours changing your life worth 1,997? Yeah, it is for me. So that's the offer that's on the table. And again, if you sign up by midnight tonight, it's the 25th of September, 2023, you get 2 live tickets to our Money Mindset Masterclass. That's a 99 pound value, right? We sell those tickets individually, but you get to come with a friend. If you know somebody who's got some money mindset struggles that they need to master, then today's the day to sign up. When do the doors close? They close on the 27th, on Wednesday. So you want to make sure you're signed up by Wednesday. We will start on the 2nd of October. If you want the calendar, you can go to techpixies.com/calendar, and you can download the calendar. You can see all the dates and when things are happening. And do we have any other questions? Because I got like 30 seconds. Where's the directory link? techpixies.com/dictionary is where you can get your dictionary. Any other questions, send them to support@techpixies.com. Go to techpixies.com, click on WhatsApp me, and I will answer any question that you have. It is my job to make sure no question left behind, make sure that you feel fully comfortable making this decision. I know it's the right decision, but you got to know it's the right decision. So I'm there to support you no matter however I can. All right? All right. Thanks, ladies. It was a good day. I'm so glad we got to catch up on all this stuff, and I'll talk to you later. Hopefully see you on the other side. Bye for now.